Resilience versus toughness can only be defined at a physiological level. Resilience at a physiological level is the ability of the vascular system to constrict under effort and stress and dilate under the absence of stress or relaxation, or the presence of relaxation. If a body remains stressed and it can't rebound, if it constricts but it doesn't release, that's the definition of hypertension. The tension stays on the vascular system, blood pressure increases, heart rate stays high, resting heart rate goes higher and higher over time. But if the system rebounds and after the stressor, the vascular system can dilate, then the body can restore its resting length, relax, which means if the foundation of exercise physiology is true, that a muscle can only fully contract from its resting length, and smooth muscle is no different than skeletal muscle, then the vascular system needs to be able to be resilient. It needs to constrict and dilate. So what we're talking about is toggling work and recovery in order to practice resilience. There are other definitions of resilience that are mental, emotional, and spiritual, but at a very foundational physiological level, it's just about constriction and dilation. Toughness is a bit tangential to that. We tend to think of toughness as the ability to push through. That's our psychological immune system, how we can ameliorate negative experiences and keep going through them. They get no pain, no gain. But at a physiological level, toughness is the ability to resist failure. So the degree to which I train my body to hold technique using progressions and regressions, so that when I add intensity, the bolts don't rattle, or they rattle the least. Then I can push on the accelerator without threatening the chassis. The car's not gonna fall apart. This also means that I can adversely impact my toughness by not being resilient. If I never let off the gas, eventually the idle will grow higher and higher and higher over time, and the engine's gonna overheat. So toughness, the ability to resist failure, will decrease because I lack resilience, because I can't let off the gas, because I can't apply the brake, because I can't lower the idle to its factory default setting. But it also means that in toughness, as I train the ability of the chassis to resist high speeds, then I can constrict more over time. I can contract and then relax faster because I've become tougher. Those two are complementary and non-competitive. They're similar, but they have dramatically different applications. So it's easy to get swept up into the loss of definition when so many people use the terms, but down at a physiological level, they're very specific, and if you apply these terms to your training, you'll realize that you can go farther, not just by stomping on the accelerator, but by judiciously and tactically applying the brake and lowering the idle so that everything can be tightened up and you can go at higher speeds so that you can develop greater toughness over time.